Secretary, Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources in Lagos, very much with us in the building, very prompt, just to come and respond to this particular issue. All right, quickly, let's take the latest update. There is construction work around Hayden filling station coupled with high influx, and that has backlogged traffic to Ojota interchange. Those of you coming in from Secretariat motorways trying to link up with Ojota interchange, you might have it a little bit slow by the time you approach that location. Nothing unusual. Beyond that point, talking about beyond Hayden filling station, movement inwards Ogudu car wash, proceeding to the Third Milan Bridge, it's appreciably better. Let's take this one. That's coming in.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Last moment to Ogunwale from Facebook.
All right, Ogunwale, talk to me.
Just to update you now about the tanker and the Dangote truck.
All right.
The mini tanker at the front of Levi at the day before Demoni Junction when you are coming from Tipa towards Demoni till my 12. The mini tanker is already out of the road now.
Okay.
It's totally out of the road. So movement from Tipa towards Demoni, it was coming my 12. Very, very okay now.
Oh, good.
But on the other hand, on the other side of the road, the broken down trailer, Dangote trailer loaded with cement.
Right.
And that one is still lying down on the road. It's having a ASU problem too.
And where is this? Where is that? Where is that one located?
It's around the Dele. That's when you are coming from my 12.
Right.
It's on a one way. I believe he has a brake failure. Why he moved from his normal lane to the other side of the road.
Right.
Why he's already occupying a lane. We have said that in the morning before.
Okay.
He's occupied a lane when you are coming from my 12. Why we are still have a lane moving on the main carriageway. And we are still having the service lane moving too.
Right.
As at now.
All right.
But that one is still very much on the road.
Right.
Why we are still working on it.
And what's the impact? What's the impact of that particular breakdown on the traffic situation around that location? Hello? Can you hear me now, Ogunwale?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. So what is the impact of that broken down trailer on the traffic situation around that location?
For now, it's already affecting the traffic really. The backlog has extended also my 12 waiting for now.
Okay.
You know, this early morning, why people are just moving out of Ikorodu.
Right.
They are going out for work, for one reason or the other.
Right.
So this one has already after the little problem we are having around that area now. Because already occupying a lane. That's when you are coming from my 12.
Right. Okay.
Occupy a lane at that area. So we have a lane moving now. But immediately after that truck, we have good movement towards Ikosi Junction. Likewise down to Fruit Market. Like I see what Johnny or we say very much okay.
Okay.
But for now we are still much on ground trying to make sure we are streamlining the situation, make the road easy.
All right.
That is the update for now.
And what does the weather look like?
The weather is still very much better for now here. It's not yet cloudy.
Okay.
We are still having it okay for now.
Beautiful.
Around K2 here. We are still having the weather okay.
Very good. Ogunwale, it's nice connecting with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, that's the latest situation on Ikorodu Road. Yes, two impediments cited earlier on. One inwards Ikorodu Demuri Junction, that corridor that has been taken off. So it's a much better movement inwards mile 12 if you're coming in from Tipa. But the other one, which is heading towards the Ojota end, where we have a trailer, Dangote trailer, he says, that one's still very much there, also adding to the mix in terms of your movement. Backlog somewhere around Uwode Elide. All right then, so we're going to be switching gears right now to celebrate those who are marking their birthdays on this day, today being the 27th of July, the year 2021. Who is celebrating? We'll find out very, very shortly.
I got question, make you answer. Sure your problem never reach. Hey, hey, hey. Drive softly, drive one jaja. You know like as you they breathe. Your people there for house. Then they wish you well. no go break your heart. Oh. Hey, hey. Look your left and right, no they drag for road. Shana die you there. Oh. Hey, hey.
This na Genie. I dey beg una, drive safe, no go over speed, no drink and drive, no drag road with anybody. And I beg, if you tire and sleep dey catch you, find safe place, park, rest small. I don't suffer this thing before and I nearly die. People will love you still dey. I beg, stay alive for them. This na Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM, moving Lagos forward.
All right, then, so let's celebrate those who are marking their birthdays today. If you know anyone who is celebrating, it's time to connect with you, even as we ring out the bell for all the celebrants. Pastor Dr. Mrs. Cecilia Gbemi Obishakin is celebrating today, and you are wife to Lawrence Olufemi Obishakin, former Nigerian ambassador to the Republic of Benin. A big shout out coming from your husband and also to, from your siblings as well. They're celebrating you on this great day. Oluwadara Semi Bankole is clocking 3. Big shout out to you from your parents. They're celebrating you on national radio. Dr. Mrs. Bolanle Uriade is celebrating as well. And I do understand you reside in Saudi Arabia. Listen to us via the web. All right. Thank you so much for that. Blessing Ochonogo, equally celebrating as well. Big birthday shout out going out to you. I know Abiola Abubakar is Public Affairs Officer, Lagos State Task Force. Big shout out to you. Esther Adenekon Balogun. Today's your day as well. You are often referred to as Ologunla. Big shout out to you as well. Elizabeth Kayode, aka Orisuayo, is equally celebrating too. Happy birthday to you. Kolade Idowu Stephen is also celebrating, aka Kolak Baba. And I understand you are of the fitness club in where's that? Okay, Oluwotedo. Okay, big shout out to you. All right then, this one is one of our very vibrant Last Mile officials celebrating today as well. Juliet Arabame is the traffic manager that you cite at Wemco Road, Agidingbi. That's the Wemco Junction on Agidingbi Road corridor. Big shout out to you. We're celebrating you right here on Traffic Radio, and well done for the marvelous work that you guys perform on that corridor. Talking about Juliet Arabame. All right, another very ardent listener to Lagos Traffic Radio, and one of those who works very tall in the maritime industry. Oliver Omajua, celebrating today. You are General Manager, CFAX Off-Dock Terminal. That's Off-Dock Nigeria Limited. A big shout out to you, and we say thank you, and we wish you well on this great day. Equally celebrating as well, Niyi Jimo. He's a Director of Finance and Accounts for Lagos State Printing Corporation. A big birthday shout out to you. And last but not the least, Sonjo Ogunremi, a.k.a. Chief of Staff. I do understand that you are head of admin for the removal of abandoned vehicles committee with the Ministry of Transportation. All right, happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to all other celebrants. One just sneaking in, Adeola Ojo, one of our listeners, says happy birthday to Aloysius SCN. He says that today is his birthday. Aloysius, a big shout out going out to you as you clock a new age. All right then, let's do the dance for all those who are celebrating. We wish you well, and we pray that God will definitely smile on you on this day as you turn a new age.
I've been thinking about it. Any dollar only feel out. What you baby tell it? What you tell out? Just like water, we don't get enemy. I just wanna be free. Just want to be me. Sometimes love might drown you. Without nowhere to run to. Hearts break me wrong, wow. But you need you to pull through. So I choose to be happy. I choose to be happy. I choose to be happy. Life is short, so I am choosing happiness. Nothing is promised, so I am living my best. Nobody
I no go let anybody dim my shine. Oh, I'm feeling good, but they want to run me down. Oh, I want to run you, see me, oh, my little. Abanilayo je, kako tiye ba mi o. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n ráyè ṣe tèmi, yeah. Lọ́wọ́ ńlẹ̀, máa jó máa yọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ńlẹ̀. Lọ́wọ́ ńlẹ̀, kúrò lọ́nà jẹ́ kí n ló dáa.
Sometimes love might drown you. Sometimes love. Without nowhere to run to. Without nowhere to run to. Hearts break me wrong, wow.
All right, then a big birthday shout out going out to all those who are marking their birthdays today. And somebody still connecting with us. He says, Victor, good morning. Please help me wish my very good friend, Ezenwane Ogubie, a happy birthday. He's a year older today. And this is coming from Fred, the man who is Sabi. All right. You sabi good things, though. All right, big shout out going out to you. Ezenwane Ogubie, as you celebrate today, we mark this with you. And that goes out to all of the celebrants, too. Juliet Arabame, and of course to Omajua, who is a very ardent listener to Lagos Traffic Radio. Oguremi as well, talking about Sonjo Oguremi. And of course to Pastor Dr. Mrs. Cecilia Gbemi Obishakin. All others who are celebrating today, we recognize you and we say happy birthday.
I just want to be. I just want to be. I just want to be. I just want to feel. Oh, I just want to be. I just want to be. Oh, wanna.
Timeliness begins with the letter T. We strive to maintain timeliness in disseminating information to our listeners, and that is why we are reliable. Being the most reliable radio station, providing traffic information in Africa is our vision. Maintaining the A status, which is accurate. Accuracy in serving you real-time traffic situation reports live from the roads in details. We are dynamic in every way. With the use of modern technology and well-motivated workforce, we keep you up to date with information on all modes of transportation, and that has been our objective. Being the first authentic traffic radio station in Africa, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, moving Lagos forward.
Madam, you don't do like this. You don't do like this.
Gaga, how are you? I beg, check all the tire well. I need to get to Ibadan quickly.
As usual, madam. Oh, you don't know. Come, sharply. Madam, she been as usual. Make a proper 40 rand. Tire for back, now 22. Phone 25. So make I get up to 40.
Yes, so not 40 around. No cheat me, oh. Make I no go here say my tire go down for road. You know I'm traveling. Hurry before traffic holds me.
That's the mark. Now, you don't.
Abba, organizer. Don't do am like that now. My motor paper. Sure you sabi say dey risky to allow organizer to dey pump your tire without the right specification. To sabi approve tire specification, tire size, and pressure for your motor. Join with the kind weight wey your motor suppose carry. Make you run go check your driver's door big pillar wey dey close to the seat belt. For that sticker, you go see am there. Or for the door of your fuel for some other motors them. Even for the boots for driver's side or inside your owner's manual. No overgauge your tire. Remember say it's the joint to make tire expand when you dey use am for road. Another one called they make tire to blow out when you don't overgauge am already. My paper, make you no buy Tokumbo tire. Original, now original anytime. Life no get duplicates. This message are from Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Moving you forward even as they move Lagos forward. Join.
Driving and dialing do not go together. If the call is important, park safely off the road. My name is Olatunji Shodeindre.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right then, so the conversation about to begin, but do not forget, like we said, please, you need to vote for our home girl, talking about Debole Yusuf, Iya Shawama, as she vies for the best radio presenter, talking about the Yoruba Films and Movie Awards. All right, today is the deadline, so please go and vote on our social media platform, Instagram. You'll find the link there. Also, on our Facebook page, you'll equally find the link as well. All right, then, so before the end of the program, we'll talk about the LTR question of the day. We have a winner for last week, and we have a brand new question as well. All right, but if you're navigating through the roads, like we said, we did tell you that there's a broken down, the construction work around Hayden Filling Station is affecting your movement. If you're heading towards the Third Milan Bridge, so backlog somewhere around Ojota Interchange, you need to watch out for that. We'll talk about the Korodu Road as well. It's getting much better, but of course, the broken down articulated vehicle around that corridor can still be sighted. That's if you're heading inwards Ojota, but efforts on to also get that off. Backlog somewhere around, that's Wode Lady. All right, we've also talked about, where else now? We've also reflected on a compactor truck, which also broke down within that particular corridor as well, and so you need to watch out for that. Broken down Loma compactor truck at Dolphin inwards Ilubiri with rear tire problem. Structure well intact, I do understand, managing the traffic situation within that particular corridor. Okay, so let's focus the conversation this morning on strategies for maintenance of our drainage channels in Lagos, and we have the Encyclopedia of Drainage Services in Lagos. Of course, he's the Permanent Secretary, Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources, Engineer OLALEKAN SHODEINDE. It's nice to have you back in the studios. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Victor. Thanks for having me again.
All right, then. So, 2 weeks back, that's precisely on the 16th of July, the rains came pouring as if the world was coming to an end, and that resulted in heavy flooding in the state. Some were asking the question, is it a case of the drainages not being maintained, or perhaps the rains were just too much for that day? How would you respond to that from the perspective of government?
Well, both perspectives are quite correct, but I need to break it down. I mean, rainfall is a natural event that we expect every time. It's a seasonal thing. And there has been some natural provisions that are provided by the creator to manage the event. Even with the advent of climate change, which is actually an anthropogenic effect on the environment.
All right.
We need to realize that everything we do has an impact on the environment, and it's coming back to haunt us. The environment doesn't keep anything in itself. It comes back to haunt the people that live in it. But that Friday event is a natural one. Rain will fall. And I keep saying it publicly that the drain is a conveyor system that was designed to carry a design. There is a design capacity for the drain. A design capacity. So when you now have that kind of an event of that fateful day, that you have rainfall of about almost 6 or 7 hours, non-stop, and not a drizzle, it was a high intensity rain, it was pouring, like you rightly said, that but the world wouldn't end because of that. God has promised not that much anyway.
Right.
So the drain will definitely run out of capacity. And Lagos was not is not the only area in the world. That day I had learned it was the same way all over the world, in several parts of the world.
All right.
That's an excuse. So it was a natural phenomenon that happened that did what it ought to, it ought to do.
So it's not to say that the drains are inadequate.
I'm coming. No, the drains are not inadequate. Like I said, everything engineering has a design capacity. Everything. When you provide any infrastructure, there is a capacity that they were designed for. When we now have an event that outstrips far is in excess of that design capacity,
right,
you will see that event I saw that day. But as that within 2 hours, there was a very funny picture that went viral that day, the Marina car park.
Right.
See if
cars floating.
Cars are not floating. Cars were just, inside water.
All right, we're submerged somehow.
We're not in Germany or Japan or China where cars were floating.
All right.
So, but within 2 hours, everything was dry.
It has receded.
Within 2 hours, the water receded. There was even no sign of, apart from the PET bottles and the plastic containers you'll see on the land. On the ground. You do know that there had been any, event that looked like the pictures or videos that we saw. What that tells you is that the channels are actually working. They are clean. The channels are just a conveyor system to convey something, to carry something. So when the rain was falling, the intensity was much, the volume available was in excess of what it was designed for.
Right.
Yeah, you have some backup. So but it was, the water was still going, doing the work, the work it was supposed to do,
right,
flowing through the drain. Yeah, all the drains might not be well, maintained. We have issues with tertiary drains.
Okay.
Because we need to identify that in a conveyor system, you need to have all the line very clean and working.
And that's where I'm going to plug in at the moment, Engineer SHODEINDE, because they're going to be mentioning a whole lot of technical terms which we'll be breaking down. But in terms of drainage alignment and realignment and the operational system or the operational framework which the Lagos State government is putting in place, break it down for our listeners. What are the kind of drains that we have in the state? Because you just mentioned one, I said tertiary, right?
Well, the tertiary drains are the ones you have along the road, the ones in front of our houses, our tenement, the small road drains in front of our houses.
Which we refer to as the gutters, right?
The gutters,
okay,
just commonly called gutters.
Right.
Next to the tertiary ones, you have secondary ones. These ones are the slightly bigger sizes that collect their collectors. They collect from the tertiary drains along the catchment. So the small road drains flow into the collectors, while the collectors now flow into the bigger primary channels that are canals.
Okay.
So the canals are the big ones that actually are naturally existing, that we are only improving by either dredging or concrete lining them. So, but the first two are artificial. We create them, we design for them, and we provide them. The primary ones are natural, got designed, but we improve them. So these primary channels now flow into the lagoon or the rivers, as it were.
And how many of these primary ones do you have in Lagos?
No, we have about 169.
169?
But I want to focus more on the tertiary drain.
Okay.
With the secondary and the primary, we are in control of that. Primary channels have been cleaned and cleaned over and over. Since this admission came in, we've cleaned well over 70 primary channels. And that's about 80, we have about like 800 kilometers of drains that we have cleaned over time.
Okay.
But tertiary drains, the ones in front of our houses, which is the role and responsibility of every individual to clean, are the clogged ones. So if these drains are clogged, well, let me shock you.
Right.
We have solid waste in tertiary drains. We have wastewater in solid drain, because just think of at any time in Lagos, do these drains ever go dry?
That is the question.
When there is no rain. So where is water coming from? From tenements, from houses, from buildings along the road. So a lot of people discharge their wastewater into the drain. These drains were designed for storm water only, rain.
Not for wastewater.
Not for wastewater at all.
Right.
So when rain now falls and there's already a volume that has been used up by wastewater, and that volume has been used up by solid waste. So, and these are supposed to be cleaned out by the tenement, not government.
Right.
The local government is just supposed to ensure that the individuals who live in these houses clean their frontage, clean their drains. So if this conveyor system at the upstream, because this is actually the first point of call for the rainwater to flow into. So if this thing is blocked, it will naturally now flow on the road into the nearest collector that is free. I can tell you, I can beat my chest and say, all my collectors are performing and they're well intact.
Do you have a systematic way that you use to monitor them to ensure that they are really performing?
You mean the collectors?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. We have, our officers all over the state. We call them resident engineers. They are supposed to be the eye of the government at that level. At each of the 20 local government has brought the LCDs now. We're not doing 50, we're doing 20.
Okay.
So, and they make sure that if there are any challenges, we get on top of it. But we're not even waiting for any feedback. It's a routine thing
that you guys do.
Yeah,
your men go out to check on this
every day. Our team, the effort team, are out there making sure that these channels are clean. Periodically, on an annual basis, we hit the road, to tackle primary channels as we do, and we're doing it. Our work is an all year round program. We never stop.
Which is
continuous. During rain, after rain, because we have to keep the conveyor free of any obstacle.
Let's bring this
point. It would be nice if people will just stop these negative act of dumping refuse.
All right, we'll still talk about that, Engineer SHODEINDE, even as the program moves on. But some have also, brought in the perspective that how come we still have some of these drainages open? That maybe it's because these drainages are open, that's why people can clog them with the PET bottles and anything. Is there anything that government is thinking in that regard to cover them up? All the drains we have in Lagos. Is that possible?
Now, just think of a scenario. Covering the drain will not stop you from dumping refuse on the street.
You think so?
No, I'm coming. The refuse you see in the drain, it's not that everybody goes to the drain to dump it in the drain, right? I'll give you an example.
Okay.
In Keja, Awolowo way, Abafemi Awolowo.
Yeah.
By under bridge. Anytime it rains, what happens? It's flooded.
It's flooded.
Why? Because this has a covered drain. There are conduits underneath that road that flows through towards Alade Market. Just from Ikeja under bridge.
All right.
Both sides there's a conduit system underneath the road. So there are inlets from the road that's supposed to take the water from the road into the drain. But because people just dump their refuse on ground, not inside the drain, when it rains, water will carry anything in its path. Do you understand? The rainwater that is running off will carry anything it can carry and take it to where the inlets. These inlets are small.
And they will be blocked.
They'll be blocked.
Oh, okay.
You get it.
Right.
So it becomes an issue. So even some of them that now find their way into the channel, it is a big problem for us to remove it because yes, you have manholes at some point to take them out. I recall when I first came to drainage in 2010, I was challenged to go and clean Bobolaji Bankantoni. That has a conduit system too.
Right.
Over the years, had been clogged with sand. We have to now be excavating the conduit to remove. So it's a lot more difficult to clean a conduit system in an area whereby you even know that people are going to dump refuse. If we can just find out to stop this dumping of refuse, the closed system is only water that will be flowing through it and sediment, and that will flow out of the system. Right. There will be nothing holding it back. That's the challenge with the closed system.
Let's talk about the drainage system that we have in Lagos. I do understand the ministry has a network of these drains. So are they all linked? Are they interlinked?
Well, I think that has been a story that we have explained over time. Yes, the systems they are interlinked. The state did conducted an exercise in 2013 to do a drainage master plan for the primary channels, and that identified 169 natural channels in Lagos that God had provided. But let me just quickly say this: the biggest drainage system is the ground. Okay, because that is the natural system God had created. We have what the hydrologic cycle. The ground has a huge soaking capacity because when it rains, 50% ought to go into the ground through percolation. Okay. That is the natural system. Those natural drains that you see on the surface are just to cater for just 10%. You understand? 10% of the volume of rainfall per time. But the ground, the natural ground, the earth, the sand, colloquially speaking, is actually supposed to soak up 50%. Then the foliages, the green, the grasses, the trees, and the leaves supposed to be under storage for 40%. So we need to focus more on that 90% that we are now throwing out. So we can't expect a natural channel that was designed to carry 10% to now take 90% or 100%. That's what we're doing. That is the real challenge we're thinking about. I said bold and I want to be challenged. People have been saying inadequate infrastructure. There is no how any government world over can provide adequate infrastructure for 100% runoff. Go to any same client. They spend more time creating green areas to encourage this soaking capacity of the soil. Because that is the biggest drainage system God has created. So you and I, we end up sealing these drainage
through our behavioral patterns, right?
We even will go ahead and even build in wetlands.
And that's where I want to come in too, because we've talked about the infrastructure, which you said is at least adequate for now to a certain level. Let's talk about people that build on wetlands, people that build on setbacks, on areas where they're not supposed to build. What has been the finding of the office?
Lagos is the mega city. We're growing every day. Population is just increasing. Yes, the economy is buoyant. Everybody else come to do one or two things in Lagos. But what I think we should be looking at is everybody coming to Lagos productive? You see, that's on one side. But on the issue of those that are actually encroaching into the wetlands, I'm not saying Lagos had always been a wetland. Lagos Island, Surulere, everywhere was a wetland. But if you look at Ikoyi, if you look at Victoria Island, if you look at Ilupeju, if you look at New Lagos in Surulere, These were areas that were planned. They were reclaimed. Enough channels were provided. Enough green areas were provided.
Right.
But let's now come to the current situation. People go into a wetland and just fill everything without giving room. I mean, you meet water as natural habitat of an area. You're supposed to provide for that volume.
So there must be a channel that you provide.
Thank you. So our master plan had provided such channels. But people will get the land from whatever source they get the land from, start the reclamation without reverting back to the office that is in charge of drainage and water, as it were. So, okay, now when doing my development, I meet water here. What am I supposed to do with it? So we'll give a drainage clearance. Okay, fill your land to this level, provide this right of way for the channel so that when you've developed, it won't disturb your development.
Right.
But most people that are now in the wetland are now the ones saying they are being flooded. You have gone to meet water in its natural habitat.
Right.
You have not done anything to make sure you are sustainably, developed in the area by actually put some engineering into play.
Let's look at those areas
to defeat the water.
Right. Let's look at the areas that are wetland, the wetland as areas of Lagos, so that people who are listening to us right now.
I mean, it is very obvious. Okay. All the coastal areas of the lagoon, the peninsula, from Lekki 1 to Ibejuleki, these are all wetland areas.
Okay.
If you look at the Agboyi K2 from mile 12, K2, all the way to Ikorodu, left and right, you can see it's a wetland. So these are the areas where you have flooding events anytime it is raining, because if you look at the Ikorodu Road before Governor Marwa then, it was low-lying, it was raised. At some point, when Ogun River issue started happening, we had to raise the road again. But if you look at the Lagos Ibadan Express Road, the Long Bridge, the Kada Bridge,
right,
there at no time are those bridges been submerged.
That's true,
because the level they are on deck on piles. But developments left and right of the bridge are below those levels. So, I mean, it behaves that when government does anything, it's designed and constructed to be sustainable. So, if you and I want to now design or develop, we need to take the cue or the lead of the government.
Let's talk about the right now. If anybody wants to build on those wetlands, they said they're supposed to visit the office, right?
Everybody that is developing in Lagos wetland as of today, either government allocation or money layer allocation, whatever, you need to visit the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, Office of Drainage Service and Water Resources, to request for a drainage clearance. We will advise you on the best way to develop your land. Okay. In terms of that, tomorrow everybody will sleep and there will be resiliency in Lagos. That is the situation there. Because without that, a stormwater is a management.
Right.
You can't, it's something you do every day. You have to manage it. It's part of the integrated water resources management. Stormwater is just a small set of it. But the quality and the quantity is really key. And we need to educate our people. We need to put in place. Actually, we're coming up with a manual. We're working on it. We're hoping that we'll get the necessary backing. Okay. That everybody, irrespective of what you're building, we need to ensure that within your four-corner pillar land, you maintain that 90% soaking capacity that God has naturally designed for the earth. Okay. Because this issue of concreting all our pavement, should stop, because that is what you're throwing water out. Your house is dry, but the water should be within your house is on the road. So you're now saying there's flooding. But we should learn to live with what that is what integrated water resource management is saying. Living with the storm water.
Right. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Living with the storm water. The great advice from the Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources. And this morning we're looking at strategies for drainage maintenance in Lagos State, and the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources giving us the blueprint. Engineer OLALEKAN SHODEINDE is the permanent secretary for that office, and we are dwelling on this. Very, very shortly, I'll also allow you to join the conversation. If you're navigating through the Marshal Aguda corridor, it is looking very, very good. Watch out for delays, alternation delays, really. By the time you approach Lawansen, the bus stop there, commercial activities also adding to the mix. But other than that, most of the areas within that corridor still looks pretty good. Third Milan Bridge is still also fairly okay. if you're navigating from the entry point at Yanowuru, connecting with Unilag Waterfront looks very good. At Dekunle, a little bit slow down to Adeniji, but no worries at all. All right, then. We've gone to the streets because we found out that behavioral patterns of our people is also responsible for most of the drainage challenges that we have. Now, you heard from the Permanent Secretary, the tertiary drains, the ones in front of our homes, are perhaps the major source of problems that leads to flooding of the environment. And so we've been asking people, if you find people that throw waste in those drains, in those tertiary drains, or perhaps any drain at all, or let me use the word gutter as the case may be, if you find anybody throwing drains in those drains, what do they think should be done to them? All right, let's have a sampling from people at Ikeja, and when we return, we'll continue with the conversation.
If you're arrested, I don't do that. Whatever I take, if I cannot discard it at that particular time, I hold on to it until I get to where I can do that, which is the best. I don't throw things from outside the books or outside the vehicle or something like that.
I think such a person should be sanctioned, because it's something that really disgusts me when I see such. Like, I don't, because in one way or the other, people will be like, I don't care, but in one way or the other, you're contributing to the mess. Now, when there is flood, you say, everywhere is getting flooding and stuff. Why would the drainages get blocked when you keep, dumping refuse? So in one way or the other, we are contributing to the whole, community's loss. So yeah, it's not good. I feel like they should be sanctioned. That's the best way they could learn. You will not just tell them. If you tell them once, twice, they won't listen. So they have to be punished to be corrected. That's what I think.
I think the person should be called to caution so that he will know that what he's doing is that he's keeping death to the environment. I think that's the best thing. When you call the person attention, I think he will do the needful.
Or they should be arrested because they are making a mess of the environment.
What should be done? I don't know. But one thing I know is it's bad to throw your waste outside. Me throwing my waste outside, I'm endangering people's lives outside, because I know that one way or the other, the breeze will blow the trash to the gutter or to it, and that can cause disaster in the nearest future.
We are arrested and made to take the waste.
All right, then, so you had a montage of responses from those at Ikeja, and they are saying there must be punishment. All right, but in a case they are not saying, that could be a little bit challenging. But, Engineer SHODEINDE, what do you make of their responses so far?
The easiest way to police the environment is by the people. I mean, that's the easiest way. For enforcement is easy when the people agree to work with government. It's easy for those talking, those in the environment, to see somebody that is doing something wrong and say, hey, I was driving behind the bus road sometime, and somebody just dropped something. The driver can stop and say, Madam, my mister, go and pick that thing you dropped. That is community policing. That is what we need for the environment, because it happens all over the place.
Everywhere.
So if you see somebody doing something wrong, just go there, tell politely, Mr. Man, pick that thing you've dropped. If we all put our hands together to enforce this, then it can be successful. But thinking government should now be the one watching 22 million negotiations and counting, maybe about 100,000 or 20,000 civil servants or public servants.
We have to be employed to do that.
How is that possible? Every negotiant, every conscious individual that believes the environment is at stake ought to be doing that. I do it. Well, even it's my job. I see a driver, I'll pursue your car. I'll stop you. Oh, yeah, Mr. Man, go back. Go and pick that thing you drop. And they always have no reason for doing it.
Exactly.
But that's just the problem.
All right. Let's connect with the listening public this morning. You can talk to us, 080-99-120-777. I have very limited time before the Permanent Secretary leaves the studio because of very, very tight schedule. Somebody's connecting with us, says, good morning. There is an accident on top of Adeniji Bridge, causing a backlog to Adekunle. All right, thank you so much for that, even though you didn't put your name. But let's hear from you. Talk to me. Hello there.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name is? Lekon. Where are you calling from?
Yes. I'm on the land.
Okay.
Hello?
I can hear you, Lekon.
My issue is this. when they are designing water roads, do they really consult with the Ministry of the man in charge, or the secretary in charge of drainage system? Because I witnessed an issue. I live somewhere very close to Alapere. They constructed the road from inside lane from Alapere down to the roundabout. They channel all the water to a particular street. Hello?
You are with you. Lekon, go ahead.
They call the street Wesley Street. Up to now, any side rainfall, the street will be submerged.
What's the name of the street?
As a result of what? Hello?
What's the name of the street, Lekon?
Wesley Close.
Wesley Close.
So they direct the entire water to that place. Any side rainfall, the place will be submerged. Due to the faulty design of the drainage system.
All right.
So, once president back down, that's one. The second issue I want to raise may not be related to the issue in this court. But I want to call attention of Lagos State government to that here.
So what?
There's a new road they constructed at Okudu. Well, if you are coming from Alakbere by lane, you use the tunnel under the bridge. The interlocking the contractor put here cannot last more than 3 months. It's just too poor. And somebody certified that one.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know. I don't know. They really need to call that contractor. It's different. Let him come and remove the. I don't want to use the strong language. The contraction you put there. Let him come and remove it and put another one.
What's the name of the road? Lekon, what's the name of the road?
The road is at Okudu. If you are coming from Orioke, they just do it as a bypass. It goes under that bridge. You can link the other side from that place. You can link it the other.
Okay. All right. We've taken note of that. Thank you so much. He talked about the Wesley.
Well, I want him to give us more details, because what I know is that when the Ministry of Works is doing their road, Lagos Ministry of Works are doing, on infrastructure, they have any road project. We work, we collaborate together.
They carry you along?
Yeah, we work together. When they're doing their road design and drainage design, we work with them. We actually work together on identifying the outfall. Because it's our job to ensure whatever the tertiary drain being proposed along the way is going to collect, we'll take it to the final outfall.
All right.
So all the collectors, we work with. So we need to get more about that Wesley Close, the location. And
all right. Then we'll try and get you the details of Lekon.
We'll be able to follow up on that.
All right. Then 08099120777. Very, very limited time for this conversation to continue. But if you have any question, and then we're asking that question really, what do you think should be done to people who dump indiscriminately in drainages? Okay, we've heard what she said about the drainage system in front of our homes. Those are the ones being violated the most. Hello there.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
Yeah. Who am I speaking with?
Good morning to guests in the studio there.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Moses, calling from K2.
All right, Moses, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say the guest there has spoken well, but how to say, little can the citizen do. Everything lies on government, because we cannot enforce the law. When you see somebody throwing something on the road and you challenge the person, you know what will happen. If you do more than what you are supposed to do, okay, they can beat you there. Every time I see people throwing things outside the vehicle, I try to make effort, but little can I do.
Okay.
So we need the government to come. By the time the government will have these agencies around, and anybody throw anything outside the bus, and the person is being arrested. By the time you pay 100,000, 60,000, 2 times, you dare not do it again.
Okay.
Also, I want to know the view of the guests in the house, in the studio there, about the estate, the developers. If you go to Lekki, as he has mentioned, the way they are developing over there is uncountable.
Okay.
Filling the swamping areas, and I believe that is a natural. God has designed those natural lands for drainage.
Right.
But now people are filling those people. Even government.
Okay.
Government is doing same. How do we get out of this?
We're taking it of that. Moses, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. I really appreciate your comment. You see, but democracy is what? Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The people are actually the government. We are just servants of the people. Civil servants, public servants. You just call it government. Government is actually you. Now, you said if you try to enforce, people will try to mob you. What is that telling you? That means the government, that is the people, don't even understand what they want. But if you really believe that this is actually affecting me, you, and everybody should be on the same page to fight this menace.
Right.
That's on one side. But the easiest thing you can do, sir, is if you see any such happening, there is maybe a police station, a car, somebody somewhere. If you just allow them to do the necessary arrest, and it will be done. But we need information. Even Senate claims that we refer to, their policemen are not all over the place. But somebody will see something and report the issue, and they will come and do the enforcement.
Right.
So it is that information that we need for us to be able to make sure that Lagos is clean and sane.
Let's begin to take this home this morning, because I know that you're really pressed for time.
Yes.
But what's your views about developers in the Lekki corridor? He said a lot about that.
That is one area that we are having issues with. You see, they're not just filling the swamp. We're even changing the coastline of Lagos State. Lagos has a natural coastline, but when you now even start filling the lagoon and extending the natural coastline of the state, these bring about a lot of negative impact. And my office is actually putting up a paper that we're going to present to identify all these negative implications.
Right.
We're not saying you can't develop you can't expand the state. Lagos is a mega city, for crying out loud. Mega cities don't spread. Mega cities grow vertical. But Lagos is sprawling, and that costs a lot more in terms of infrastructure. But a paper is coming up, and we're going to be advising ourselves on the best way to tackle this issue of the Lekki development corridor. We're working on it. Thank you very much.
All right, then we'll leave it at that for now. And I'm sure anybody who has any of these infractions, they can contact your office, right?
Definitely.
Okay,
definitely.
Then. And SHODEINDE, nice having you in the building. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Okay, then, Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. I'll be back to continue the conversation, but just keep it locked on Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM.
As we continue to observe safety measures, especially during the rainy season, the Lagos State government has continued to invest huge resources in order to ensure that all our canals and drainages are regularly cleared of all forms of blockages in order to prevent flooding. It is now important that we complement government's efforts by playing our roles as citizens and residents of the state by ensuring that we don't dump refuse in canals and primary drainages in and around our residences and other buildings, and also avoid erecting buildings on top of canals and drainage channels in order to prevent flood disasters, which can lead to loss of lives and property. This is why the Lagos State government is issuing this warning that anybody caught dumping refuse in any canal or drainage or building any type of structure on top of a canal or drainage channels will face the full wrath of the law. Remember, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. This message is from the Permanent Secretary Office of Drainage Services.
We need to be more socially responsible for our actions, responsible for the things that we do, the kind of actions that we're taking, our reactions as well. If you're throwing something outside on the road, what if it was your road? What if it belonged to you? If you're doing something that affects somebody else, what if it were you that they were doing it to? Because if you're thinking like you're the only person that life affects, you're not going to make the right decisions. You need to think, value yourself, value the people around you as well, and it help you make better decisions. I'm Simi.
You said you're going to buy me a new school bag.
Oh, Annie, darling, that's true. Don't worry, we'll stop at the next store to get it. Wait in the car, let me go get it.
Madam, don't tell me say you won't leave this pikin inside this motor come out too.
Abba, waiting up, I won't buy something.
Say you no know say the pikin fit faint inside this motor or make them kidnap and come out. We don't see him before.
Any talk, come